Hello, guys and gals. Me, Mutahar. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Some Ordinary Podcast. I was actually about to say the official podcast because that's where I was like an hour ago. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the official podcast, we hijacked one of their hosts, Moist Critical, Penguinz0, also known as Charlie. We've got Oompaville, and we have Nux, who unfortunately has died and passed away.
On.
We've replaced him with a blue screen. So condolences
Rip.
to him. Ladies and gentlemen, how are we all doing today? How are we doing in a post-Elon Twitter world?
Oh, it's all bad now. Elon's got Twitter, and it's over for us. It's over.
It's done, man. It's over. I woke up today and I saw like 2 verified stickers on like people that I was following. I'm like, damn. So it's a wild day indeed. Apparently all that's been gone. We are going to have to start ponying up like $8 a month to keep those, blue ticks or whatever of ours.
Are you guys going to do it?
No, I'm definitely not. I don't really give a fuck about a Twitter check mark. I did a while back, but it was mainly for like podcast guests because it was the most efficient way of reaching out to people. But now I don't really fucking care about the check mark.
I kind of want to have like a Twitter account that gets decent likes and isn't verified. I feel like that's a little cooler. That's like a little rarer in the midst, you know? Feels like you're
it's a cooler flex.
Yeah. I might replace it with like some weird emoji or something, and that's about it. Like I'll probably change it to like some other verification. But it's I think like the hoopla around it is a little wild, like you got like people who are like calling out the free speech, and then you got like just celebrities getting straight up banned at this point for impersonating Elon.
Yeah, for impersonating Elon Musk, which is so funny. Is H3 back, or is he still banned?
No, that's a perma ban from what I saw.
Yeah, it's a permanent suspension.
He did say you could pay $8 to come back to like Kathy Griffin though, so I don't know if he's like allowing you to pay to come back or not.
Dude, that's like paying for unbans. Could you imagine how many YouTubers would jump at that opportunity?
I would do that actually for sure.
Banned? Like come back. It's kind of weird. It's like imagine if like YouTube 3-striked you, like you got like struck off YouTube, and then all of a sudden you could just like say, "Hey, I'm gonna give Susan $8 a month now. Can I come back and do my degenerate shit again?" Yeah, literally, it is pay. I mean, it is kind of pay to win because I think like last I heard, it was like all the people that pay for the verification, they get like blown up in the algorithm a little bit. Which is kind of wild. I'm like, to me, Twitter is like cool because like if you follow 10 people, if you set it the right way, you just get like live updates of what those people are doing. It's what it is. Like it goes from like, somebody talking about them taking a shit all the way to like, some like update about their like content. But now it's like, hey, jump in and pay to get to the top, which is whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see the benefit of the $8 a month personally, like unless there's like a way to monetize Twitter and like you can hop on that train. Doesn't really seem like a benefit necessarily.
No, it just seems like a lot of shit. It seems like it's very desperately needing money. I think he's realizing now $44 billion into this shithole is kind of a lot to make back. So he knows a lot of people want the verification stuff and will pay for it. So he's trying it.
I think they lose $5 million a day too, which is insane.
Well, that was a lot of money. They fired like 3,000 employees or something. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why you have to fire like all those people from Twitter.
So just hemorrhaging money.
It's one thing that I can understand too, because it's like it's obviously a bloated company. Like most tech companies are really, really bloated. I'm sure if every tech company like looked into their like employee hires, they could be like, we could probably like shed at least 20 to 30% of these people out. I mean, hey, it's not as bad as if you work at Facebook, because I was just checking out before we filmed. 11,000 jobs just got cut. Like, it's a fucking mass exodus from Facebook. I mean, it makes sense. Facebook's lost like pretty much everything. So
down $700 billion in valuation from the Metaverse tanking so hard. Mark Zuckerberg lost a large fraction of his personal wealth. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
I almost feel bad for him at this point.
Yeah, well, that's not the word I'd use for it, but I love watching the catastrophe.
He seems so human.
It couldn't. I mean, how could this happen to such a good guy like Mark?
How could this happen to such an amazing android? Come on now. It's so wild to see, like, because I'm gonna be like upfront here. Like Facebook, I don't even think have any of you guys been using Facebook at all for the last 5 years? Period.
No, actually, no. I take that back. I've been posting every 2 months or every month, basically. I'll post a photo of myself with the old filter from FaceApp on Facebook, and a lot of the people that don't really know what I do now, they think that I've just aged very poorly because I didn't post for years and years, and now I've got like my extended family thinking that I'm 40.
That's awesome.
It's pretty funny.
That's such a good play. I like that a lot.
It's pretty funny. My Uncle Jack fully believes it.
You know, my mom's aunt sent me an image, and I was going to mention this on the official podcast, but I felt like it was better to just have Charlie's video reaction for this. My mom's aunt sent me an image, and she's like, Jesus is back, right? I was like, what the What? It's a photo of you as Jesus Christ. She's like, apparently the second coming has happened, and I'm like, what the are you on about? Wait, what?
Is it the one where it's like me in the garb overhead?
That's awesome.
That's actually crazy.
Because she looked at it and I was like, I had to like message her. Well, she's like really, really old. Like, this is my mom's aunt at this point talking. Like, the fact that she had to be, it's not even like her WhatsApp account. This is like all the old people share one account to communicate with everyone because they don't even know how to make their own. And like, I had to be like, I'm like, listen, there's something called Photoshop in today's day and age. It's a way to fake images. And she didn't even know that. Like, God bless her. She had no idea you could like falsify. And that's one of the reasons I can't get with Facebook. It's just that actually happens.
That's fucking wild. You should have never told her about that and have her fully believe that the second coming of Christ is here.
Oh my God. I just like I was so stun-locked because like she hits me with like the second coming. I'm like, did I miss something? Like, I actually legit Googled. I'm like, has Jesus Christ come back on Google? And like in that moment I was like, I'm the idiot. And then she sends me the image, like the Facebook meme, and it's the same one that you had in your video. I'm like, dude, there's no way old people fall for this shit.
They do.
And then they do.
I was so surprised. It's because it's like a very clear Photoshop. It was like an old picture where I was on like a hiking trail, and then it got Photoshopped with me in like a religious garb. And for some reason on Facebook, they're like, wow, the heart if you love Jesus. This is Jesus, the guy who died for our sins.
Oh, no.
They thought it was so profound and like actually moving. It was so cute.
You've changed lives.
Yeah, I've been touching people on Facebook recently.
Yeah. You've been a religious icon, which is just, it's funny because like, okay, but think about it. Like, technically, Charlie, you are like, so if somebody like, if my aunt like sees that and I hadn't told her, and like all of a sudden she signed on to YouTube and you showed up in the recommenders with like the fucking Moby Huges on the side.
Oh my God. You should have just sent her picture back.
Yeah, I wish you didn't tell her, honestly. You should have absolutely like kept that, like, oh my God, you're right, he's back. And then like see how far it could go. Like maybe she frames a picture of me on her mantle or something next to like candles or some shit. That would have been amazing.
Oh my God, that is so funny.
And then the next time I see her with her like shrine of Charlie, and then I show her the Moby Huge, and then she's
send her the Belle Delphine video with all the fucking the toy competition, whatever that was.
Yeah, because I was just sitting there. I'm like, man, I'm so glad she wasn't here for like the month of November when that's all he was posting.
Oh yeah, that was a crazy month.
I was like, how many of your things got like super age restricted that month though? Like, I bet you were looking at like just the fucking like laundry list on your thing.
There were quite a few. Some of them didn't though, surprisingly. Some of them that were more tasteful, like trick shotting, those didn't get age restricted. But the more egregious ones, like the Council of did. That's
got to be like an interesting month. Like, you upload the video, you go to bed knowing full well that you're going to get age restricted. Like most people kind of wish it doesn't happen. You're sitting there, it's like, this is.
I pray.
Like, you're not even like trying to hide it. Like, you just have straight ready to go.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh yeah, it's in the thumbnails. Like, there's no secrets.
I pray to my religious idol to prevent demonetization. Ironically, that is you that I pray to. Yeah.
I mean, based on what Facebook has told me.
When it comes to personal hygiene, who has time to read that long list of ingredients in the back of the bottle? You can't even pronounce most of them. If you're like me and cares about what goes on your body, especially during No Nut November, then it's time to try Native Personal Care products. Every Native product is thoughtfully formulated to keep you feeling and smelling fresh all day long. You know Native for their aluminum-free deodorant. They keep their ingredients bare and naked. Native deodorant checks a lot of boxes: 72-hour odor protection, naturally derived ingredients, and a smooth, residue-free application. It offers a variety of scents with new and limited edition scents being released all the time. You'll smell amazing all day long with their long-lasting scents. They got cinnamon, cashmere, rain, toasted marshmallow. They got everything you could possibly want. Personally, I like the spiked eggnog scent. Absolutely makes me happier all day long. Not because of the eggnog, because of the smell. And it's awesome. Now is the time to make the switch to Native. When you visit their site, you discover all their fresh scents. Maybe even try out one of their body washes while you're at it. Get 20% off your first order by going to nativedeo.com/SOP or use the promo code SOP at checkout. That is nativedeo.com/SOP or use the promo code SOP at checkout for that 20% off your first order. And back to the podcast.
Yeah.
It was a powerful piece, honestly. I'm just glad to be inspiring. I've always been, trying to spread the good word of the Bible and such. So I'm glad it was your aunt that caught the message.
Do you ever feel like Kenneth Copeland one day will look at you and just start beef with you for stealing the...
We should absolutely send that picture to Kenneth Copeland to get his take on it. I think it'd be very insightful.
Dude,
who's the one that looks like he's wearing a mask?
Kenneth Copeland.
Is that Kenneth Copeland?
The private jet one, the multi-millionaire.
That guy's a demon.
Demons. Oh, yeah, that guy. He's so fucking scary, man.
He is.
I saw a video clip. It was literally, I think it was the H3 stuff, because his podcast highlight showed up, and I looked at him this man is a fucking actual this man is wild. And then you know what? I saw his actual church in reality. I think it was I think he's from Houston, or one of his mega churches was in Texas or something.
It's real close to where I live. Eagle Lake.
Dude, it was this mega church was huge. It was so big that they bought the fucking Hilton Hotel next to it so they could house their parishioners. I'm God,
he's got his own airport up there.
Bro, there's legit money to be made in religion. You could legitimately capitalize. I feel like
Let's
you could capitalize.
We have our idol right here, Muda. We got our idol.
We literally have the Jesus reincarnation. When
the problem is you have to compete with the others though. If we use me as an idol, we need something more fresh, more new, a more modern take on religion.
Like what? How would we we're literally talking about making a cult together right now. So hold on, let's go.
I prefer religious beliefs as opposed to cult nomenclature.
You're distilling our future and beliefs into this terrible word with such a terrible connotation. What are you doing, Moody? You're picking us up before we even start.
All right,
we haven't even gone over our tenets yet.
Okay, fine. What would our tenets be? Okay, Jesus Christ.
I don't know. What do people like these days?
Well, verifications, obviously, based on Twitter. We got to give a free badge. If you sign,
we'll cover your verification.
Exactly. If you give us $16 a month, we'll cover your verification on Twitter. Absolutely, 100%. People will be lining up for that. Free speech.
What else?
Okay, we could get that side in. You could say whatever you want at our church, as long as it isn't calling out our monetization practices. Sure, cool. Let's go for that. I don't really know, man. I mean, running a cult seems like too much work. A religion seems like way too much work, man. Jesus Christ.
Religion sounds a lot easier than a cult, actually. Religion, you already have the book that you can just read from. Have you guys gone to church before?
Maybe once or twice.
I've been to Moscow.
Okay, so the content there is weak as they're just reading from the Bible. It's not a whole lot going on. So it's super easy to start a church, I imagine. But if you had to make a cult from scratch, without having a basis to go on, I feel like that's so tough.
It's a first grade level presentation initially, for most churches. From what I've seen.
There's a lot of charisma that's required for that too. There's a boatloads more for that kind of, you have to have a leader that can absolutely swing somebody into it. It's kind of like Scientology. I remember when I first came across Scientology when I was younger. I looked at all their history, Xenu and flying across the intergalactic space and prisons. And as somebody younger, in preteens, I was like, this is fucking stupid. How does anybody fall for this kind of shit? And then I looked closer into it. I'm like, hey, they just have really charismatic people that can convince anybody.
They also Dianetics, the book of Dianetics, the way that they got you into it, and in the 90s at least, they would send you this self-help book basically and get you involved in all these self-help classes with none of the Xenu shit. And they would get you operating at a higher level through routine and like eating healthy and exercising and like meditation, stuff that actually works. And then they'd be like, now if you want to break through this and get to the next level, come to this. And then that's when they would slowly introduce the Xenu shit. You guys should look at the Book of Dianetics. It's pretty interesting. By the way, I'm a Scientologist. I'm not actually.
Are you?
I have the book over there, though. I thought it was interesting, so I read it. But
Scientology is based here, like right next to me.
Really?
Their main headquarters is in Clearwater, I believe, like one of their super centers. That's where like the home of Scientology is. That whole area.
She goes streaking out there. See what happens.
I was in like Los Angeles, and I just saw like one of their big blue buildings. I'm like, God damn, dude! I wanted to go in and do one of those tests, but then like, and I was also like, damn, I don't want to be like, I don't want to be like kidnapped or like forced into some fucking weird program at the same time. Because like
that's the same thought we had,
dude. When I saw the Scientology building, like I wanted to go into it, but then like like the devil on your shoulder, like the angel comes in. It's like, hey Muda, if these guys got the IRS by the balls, they're gonna do fucking way worse to you. Run far and away. And I was out of that shit. But ladies and gentlemen, one thing that I wanted to sort of get into, and I know we're only 15 minutes in, but I just got off the official podcast and we talked about, YouTubers and finances. And I just wanted to it's like an ingrained thing in my head. Oopie, have you been following the Boogie OnlyFans arc?
I'm going to be honest. No.
You're lost. I don't know how you're even getting hard these days without the Boogie OnlyFans content.
On Twitter.
I saw the same fucking foot, by the way, too. I know.
I pressed the three dots in the top right, and then I pressed mute all tweets from this account. And that's where I'm at.
Huge.
That's like that's you giving up on a gauntlet, brother. Jesus Christ, I've been stuck with it. I remember like the exact moment I was just in my computer here. I was waiting for something to like render. I open up like Twitter on my phone, and that's the first image that I see is the foot show up. And I was like, man, this is like literally the first goddamn like actual image. So one thing that's been wild to me is like Boogie for the last few months. Like, obviously, like I had a public little spat with him regarding landlordship and everything. And it was because I get like really sick and tired of this kind of like BS. You know what I mean? Like when people just start talking out of their ass, it's like eventually when it's in like your field of expertise, you can't help but not like get into it at some point. And I have no ill will against anybody on the internet. I think the only person that I actually genuinely probably don't like is like J Station, and that's it. Like, and that's for like very obvious reasons, Yeah. Like when you're out there faking debts for people, like, it's like you're way beyond redemption. Mm-hmm. But like Boogie is like one of those guys where it's like, he makes cringy shit, probably made like a few cringy posts, nothing that like I haven't even done in the past either. Like nobody is like sin free from that lifestyle. But one thing that I want to say is like when it comes to like YouTubers and finances, like obviously I think anybody who's had like over 1 million subscribers is usually far better off than 99% of the people out in the world. You know what I mean? Like they've had like more shit given to them than the average person gets.
Yeah.
So Boogie recently has been on this like I mean, it's a begging arc, right? Like, hey guys,
e-beggar,
out of money, give me like a few bucks a month, $10-$20 or something. 8. And and then like the other videos are always like, hey, thank you guys for all the money that you've given me. Now, I don't have a problem even with people asking the audience for money. People do it with Patreons and shit all the time, right? Like if you watch somebody live stream, there's probably donations that go in all the time. But the key difference is at least they're making content. Like if I go to like Emplemon or like Internet Historian and he has like a Patreon, I give money every month knowing that the guy's working on something like a banger, and we're going to be able to watch that like months down the road.
Right.
With like a Boogie thing, it's like, brother, you're not doing much with the content. You're just sitting there talking about like gaming company like stuff that you could have like easily, vomited out in like an hour or 2 hours. Right. And when I watch the videos there, I'm like, the guy's not even researching half of the stuff anyway. So it's even easier. And then it's just, I don't know. It's a weird scenario to me. It's like DSP gaming. Like, every time they like ask for money and it's like, my content's getting better. And like when you ask them how the content got better, it's like, well, I got a new capture card and now the video is 60 frames versus 30. I'm like, hold on a sec. How did that make the content better?
PewDiePie moment.
Yeah, it's like for real. I'm like, you just made this cringe a little bit more technically watchable, right? Like upping your content from 1080p to 4K doesn't actually make it better, so to speak, right? Like, if that was the case, that's not a barometer. But that's kind of like where the situation is with Boogie. He's kind of like he's run this OnlyFans arc now. And the OnlyFans arc has been him basically just like kind of playing it off as a joke, but like, haha, wouldn't it be funny if you guys subbed to it? And it's an interesting arc.
It's interesting. It's pretty bold. He even like publicly posted all of his OnlyFans subscribers' information. So he's like, look at all my great OnlyFans. I think he took it down now. Oh. But a couple of days ago, he posted, look at all my OnlyFans supporters. And it just had their name and email address as well as how much money they've given so far to it. It was fucking unhinged. God, dude. Oh, no, it's still here. It's still here.
No way. So that's
no.
Okay.
No. This isn't. Well, I mean, he does have this, but he had one that had a little bit more detail. I'll drop it in the chat. But he just like publicly shows like the people that are subscribed to his OnlyFans at the moment, and it was wild because like, damn, that's like the last thing they wanted, I bet, to be outed as a OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's the last thing I wanted to like people to know. You know, it's like,
especially that OnlyFans.
I mean, yeah, it's. I think it's. I mean, like at this point with the amount of people subbing, I think it's a lot of people who are like subscribing for like, you know, the whole absurdity of it versus like, you know, actually genuinely subbing for like pics or anything, which may or may not be a possibility. Charlie like filled me in on the thing on the official podcast where like apparently he was like hitting up the OnlyFans like for collaborations, like actual other creators. Which
it was a good strategy. He's like, hey, who wants to see me collab with, and then tag this OnlyFans girl, like hoping that he'd be able to smash for OnlyFans content, I guess.
That's wild.
Yeah, he's just publicly like begging for it, and then the OnlyFans girl responded positively, so maybe we'll get to see them slamming ham pretty soon.
Slamming ham.
Yeah, I use that term a lot. It sounds cool.
It's so wild to like, maybe this is like the best, maybe this is like just a way to get laid. And I kind of like respect the hustle, man. Like, Jesus Christ, it's the man's figured out the system. You know what I mean? Like, hey, now I can get paid. Now I don't have to be the one paying for sex. I get paid and I get the sex. It's like,
I think it's a galaxy brain scheme. Have you guys seen that New York guy who's running for Senate who, in order to prove how sex positive he was, the porn star for a porn video?
Yeah, dude.
What?
That guy's awesome.
Yeah.
I voted for him.
No way, for real?
Great. Yeah, so he's like, sex work is hard work and I support it.
Yeah.
And to prove it, I'm going to release a porno with this porn star, and he fucking did it.
Baller.
It's on Pornhub.
I have big respect for that shit. Jesus Christ. Like, I mean, it's one thing. Yeah. Like if you talk about like sex positivity, right? Like a lot of people get really uneasy about it. Like, you know, it's like they'll say it, but they won't like abide by their action. That's actually big. That's a pretty, did he actually win any election for it or like?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm curious. Let me see.
Pretty nice too, in all honesty.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I only saw like bits and pieces of it.
That's kind of sick though. It's like, I think there was. I saw one. I saw one person running for office, and like their whole like platform was paid by like OnlyFans or something. Like they were like financing their entire campaign with like OnlyFans or whatever the hell it was. Like all the adult lewd pictures. And part of me was like, you know, it's cool. You know, this person found a way to be self-sufficient in the world of their finances. It's cool. They're not taking money from big. They're doing it from a grassroots perspective. And I can respect that. Jesus Christ.
Man, you know what I don't have respect for is New York. How did he not win? He got 0.3% of the vote. Come on.
What?
Man put it all on the line. Yeah. 0.3% of the vote. He lost.
What was he running as though?
He was running as the It Kiss campaign.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
We'll see, like, okay, all right, it's big brained, like, ballsy moves, but he didn't pick one of the other parties. So it's like, you did all that work and you kind of knew you were going to fall.
He should have aligned himself with one of the parties. I feel like in that case, he would have absolutely won with the majority. They just, they got confused on where he was actually running.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's the same thing over here. Like, whenever you vote for somebody, just pick, like, the two biggest parties, because you just know that if you go for, like, the other random cool parties, you're never going to get anywhere into it, you know?
He got 583 votes.
But how many views did he get on that? Because that just shows you like what was the conversion rate on that pornography, you know?
Yeah, let me take a peek. Last I saw, it was like 800K, which is pretty good. Like, that's not bad, especially for like an amateur.
But like the conversion rate's terrible. Like we sent me 800,000 people jacked off to it, but like less than $1,000. You can win it and vote. Come on now.
It's still about 800K.
Yeah, it's like, it's absolutely like if each and every single one of those people were like, I respect this man, I'm from New York, I'm going to vote for him, that would have been like an absolute game changer. But I mean, we're being like really hopeful about it. We really are.
I hope he runs again. I think his whole political campaign and career is just a way of fucking porn stars, to be honest, which is
he's a baller.
Good play.
That's so
These are
smart.
people that have. These are people that have found the how to game the system perfectly. You know, it's like even the Boogie OnlyFans arc. To go back to it, it's like you can't even like hate the guy for it. It's like he found a way to get paid and get laid for it, and find a whole new revenue stream. I mean, like these are all the boxes being ticked off. You got to have some level of respect for that. You know, it's like you got to be like, you know, this man is a player. They know what's up. They know what to do. But ultimately, in the end, though, it's like again. When it comes to a lot of these figures, you know, DSP Gaming, the one who has apparently said that you were interviewing him, which you told me was not happening.
Yeah, I don't really do that. I was just talking about it on stream. It's really not that deep.
No, it's a wild world, man. When you come to like some of these YouTubers, and it's like I feel like a lot of their fucking trolling would go away if they were just like not. If they like, I feel like a lot of the trolling would be gone if they weren't constantly like mentioning a lot of these topics like finances and all this stuff, you know what I mean? Or being overly like super duper negative on stream, so to speak, right? Like, yeah, it could have all been went away if they just played fucking video games and like stopped responding to the people that were there. But I mean, like, maybe that's like how you stay relevant in that capacity, because it's like DSP's got this running meme where no matter what, he'll outlive any creator. He'll actually outlive all three of us. You know, it's like no matter what, he will always survive any platform, like anything.
He is a very impressive specimen. 62,000 videos on the channel and counting.
Dude, I mean, he's played every fucking game. If you want, like, people watching, if you want to fucking, like, see what a game looks like, if you want to see somebody brute force a video game, just look up DSP Gaming and, like, that specific game. Like, you know the one reason why, like, when I was sucking bad at Dark Souls, and I was about to quit, like, Dark Souls 1, because I'm like, man, I'm so done with this game, it's just bullshit. And then I watched the DSP Gaming playthrough of Dark Souls. I'm like, bullshit. If this man can beat it, I'm gonna can get right back into it. It was like those
inspiring.
It was like those Sigma gym memes that you see on TikTok, right? Like, they show like it's just like working out me. I'm like, I'm jumping back into it. I'm gonna beat this, and I did. I beat it. I beat it after watching. I was like, if he could do it, I can do it.
Amen.
That works. But yeah, no. It's a wild world to see, man. It's a wild situation to get in. Did you see that DSP was on the news? He got fired from Twitter.
What?
Yeah, so like, okay, you guys know Inside Edition?
Mm-hmm.
So somebody trolled Inside Edition by like, you know how people do the Sam Hyde shit where it's like, oh, every time like a tragedy happens or something, it's like, Sam Hyde has been caught. So apparently they were like, DSP Gaming has been fired and is unable to feed his like 4 children or something. And this has all happened because Elon fired him from Twitter. They didn't check it at all. They just like slapped his ass up on national television. And so when I was watching,
is it on their channel?
Yeah, like it's on Inside Edition. I like retweeted it because I like saw the clip of it and it was just there. It was like Twitter fires like, and he was like one of the people that got like removed off of the platform.
Oh yeah, 4 days ago, lays off nearly 4,000 employees. He's gonna be in here. Oh yeah, God, I see him. Oh jeez, no.
They don't
not
vet
DSP.
That shit. They don't vet it. They don't do it at all. MP, how do you feel about Elon taking over all of our communication, reducing our free speech?
I don't know. I feel like I really don't care all that much. Like I see a lot of people that care a lot and stuff, and I just don't really. I guess I just look at it differently than most people. I don't really see Twitter as being that important beyond just like Charlie said earlier, reaching out to people to be able to communicate with them and appearing at least like you're worth talking to, you know, especially if they don't know you.
Yeah.
Just I don't know. And then I post funny pictures and then hope that they get views. I don't know. Beyond that, I really don't give a single. I don't care.
Yeah.
That's my answer.
I think it's really showed me like who's like super terminally connected to the internet, because it's the same thing I've ever told people. I'm like, the real world is not like the internet. Like if I go like like once I'm done uploading and everything, like every weekend, like or every other day, like I'll go down to the city and meet up with friends from like college and everything. And the way that we talk is like obviously it's so much more different than reality. Like if you sign on to the internet and that's your only form of social interaction, your worldview is so fucking different than everyone else's, because the internet makes it seem like everyone's on like one or the other extreme. And it's like they're just constantly finding ways to get mad or like bitch at each other and like get crazy.
Yeah.
Like all the celebrities out there, like Kathy Griffin that got fucking banned out. And like it was insane because I looked this up just before. She like resurrected her dead mother's Twitter account because she got her account suspended just so she could get owns back at Elon. Did you know about this, Oompi?
No.
You didn't know it? So like she got banned and she got banned and resurrected her dead mother's account just so she could fucking call back.
That's very impressive.
I mean, it's like Charlie said, it's sad, but like at the same time, the absurdity of it, like I can't stop laughing at like how fucking.
Oh, it's funny, yeah, Like I'll say I don't care all day, but I'm really glad that happened. I like that a lot, because it's hilarious.
It's just interesting.
Yeah, it's good
you
content.
can just sit from the sidelines and laugh at it. You can sit from the sidelines and just laugh at the absurdity,
Yeah, like what are you doing? What are you doing right now? What are you doing? You get so much time on your hands.
Dude, at the end of the day, like we didn't spend $44 billion, like it's not out of our pockets. We can just move on with our life and look at it as shit blowing up internally all over.
It's just so interesting to see something of that caliber in that situation where it is in a position where it's like, wow, there is a chance he just straight loses $44 billion. Doesn't he also have to pay $1 billion every year just because of the loan on the interest rates or something like that?
Yeah, Twitter burns like $1 billion a year. I like the thing about it is like you get so many people who are like, Elon's big brain, he's going to make it the most profitable social platform. I'm like, I mean, you gotta be like a hella big brain if you think that's going to be how it's going to play. Because you're right, we literally, like I said, like in an hour ago, I'm like, this is like the most expensive midlife crisis that I'm actually witnessing, because it's like he basically got forced into buying the thing for $44 billion, and now it's like he's just sitting there with like this money like leeching platform, and you can't really do anything. Like you can't sell it back, you can't sell it to somebody who's willing, because there's not many people who are even willing to buy it for that much.
I hope he makes it better and like improves it and stuff. I don't want it to get deleted, but I do hope a lot more stuff like this keeps happening and very interesting things that I can sit and watch and then, just not kind of care about, but laugh at. I
mean, like we're just sitting in the sidelines watching the fucking shit burn around us. And it's like, the whole Facebook thing, right? Like I get like comments where it's like, Mudo, are you kind of like laughing at people losing their jobs? I'm like, okay, let's not extrapolate to me laughing at people losing their jobs at Facebook. I think they'll be fine. I think if you had a job at Facebook as like a fucking coder, you'll find another job somewhere else in Silicon Valley. I'm just laughing at old Marky Boy burning $700 billion on the headset. Have you guys used the Metaverse? Like actually been like ever like jumped into it? Like I know
bullied hard. I went to Mark's thing. It's all old people. For one, it's all 30-year-olds. And they treat it like it's real life. So I don't fucking fit in at all.
To you is 30.
Yeah, I like how you're 30 was
I guess I'm 26, age. I mean, like VR chat, it's all like, you'll hear like little kids screaming and stuff, and it's mostly like teenagers, and it's crazy. Yeah. These were all like people who were treating it as if it were real life. And I'm not that social of an individual. I'm not a social butterfly. So I walked up to these people, and it was like there was cliques. They didn't like me. They made fun of me. To be fair, I was being very, very, very rambunctious and making a lot of sound because I'm playing a video game. I don't think it's real life. But there was people who were non-ironically role-playing in the Metaverse as themselves. It was dope.
What?
Yeah.
Where did you get? I want to try that. Where'd you go for that?
It's like the Oculus Quest, and then it's like Oculus Quest Worlds.
Horizon Worlds, but there's like there's specific spots you have to go to in there to find those clicks.
Horizon Worlds, it's like a nightclub. It's like on the top of a building.
Yo, I'm down, bro.
Oh yeah, dude.
I'm down to join into this world.
Oh yeah, and then there was a like a drum set and a microphone, and I was just singing, and people were yelling at me, heckling me, like "Shut the f*** up!" And I was just singing. I was trying to be funny, and nobody laughed at me a single time. It was terrible.
Sounds traumatizing.
It was horrible. I felt embarrassed.
Dude, it's like you just got bullied.
I got bullied, yeah. I got bullied. They
feel
kept
like
muting me
that.
too. Everyone was muting me. It felt really bad.
Oh yeah, because they have like the fucking panic button on the fucking metaverse. It's like as somebody.
Oh, yeah.
So there was this one thing. You remember the pools closed meme from 4chan, like where they like
God, yeah.
So it's like they tried doing the same thing on Horizon Worlds until like 4chan was like, shit, we got to spend like $400 for headsets to meme on people. Hell no. But they were like trying to do it because like there was a period in the metaverse where you could phase through people, right? So you could like, if we were all avatars, I could fly through Oompi. So there were a few articles that like, I guess fucking Wired or like a bunch of these people wrote where like people were complaining about sexual harassment in the metaverse, right? Like, you could be harassed, right?
Phantom
and
touch.
This has been going on forever, by the way, too. I remember when GT Online came on, there was like literal news segments about people being like sexually harassed in Los Santos, which was a wild day, wild shit to read. So they introduced not just a panic button for like the metaverse, but they introduced like personal boundaries, like a little bubble. So like you couldn't cross past a certain point. So what 4chan tried to do is it's like, shit, if we just get like all these people to like literally stand in a conga line, we could literally prevent access to the fucking metaverse. And I was like, damn, that's a pretty cool idea. But they didn't do that because obviously it like, you know, failed spectacularly. When I signed on to the metaverse, I didn't get bullied, but people were definitely hanging out. Like it was like real life.
Bullied.
It was like I didn't say anything to anybody, but like there were people hanging out on the roof looking over at like the Roblox graphics and like having drinks with each other. Like, and I was just like,
they were drinking. It was like there was a real party. It was so weird.
it's like something you see out of a fucking movie, you know? Like there's this movie like called The Conspiracy where they're in like this robot world talking to each other, like this metaverse world. And people are actually like drinking and shit. I'm like, guys, you're on like fucking IRC chat. Like, chill the fuck out. It's like this dude's actually going like /wave. Hello, good. Like, Jesus, man. Like, why?
I actually need to hop back in. When I tried it, and it was a brief period, I didn't get anything cool out of it. It was like a fucking barren and empty. I guess I just didn't like do it right. Maybe
you gotta antagonize a little bit. You gotta go in there thinking it's a fun game, not real life. And then people will not like that. Or at least when I happened to go in, nobody at all laughed at me or acknowledged any sort of semblance of awareness of the situation that we were in the metaverse. Mark Wahlberg's metaverse.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you also got to realize it's not like VR chat where people dress up like Ugandan knuckles and shit and like roam around. It's all very much like real, like it's very much like real looking, like not real.
Check out my avatar,
like floating around. Yeah, and like, dude, they got like games on the metaverse too. Like these people are playing paintball with each other, and I'm like, dude, this is really fucking boring. Like I don't even know how you guys are getting on by this. Well, but like Charlie, you explored the metaverse. You played enough Roblox, right? Like you've explored Walmart land, you know, whatever exists on there. How would you say the Roblox metaverse is, like, in comparison to, like, the Facebook one?
The Facebook one is such a fucking joke. It's, like, 10 years behind, like, even VR chat.
Yeah.
Like, Roblox has a lot more to it. It's like Walmart Land. I recently took a dive into Walmart Land. They have, like, 20 little mini games in there for your little Walmart bucks, which you can buy Walmart merch. They have a dance party room where you get to DJ yourself. The metaverse, like, you don't even have legs. Like, you can't really do anything. Like, their games are, like, somehow even lamer than a Roblox minigame where you just press 2 buttons to dance on the skates. It's just pathetic. Like, it's genuinely pathetic that they've spent billions and this is what they have to show for it so far.
Well, it's not only that you spent like billions to do it. It's like what I mentioned in like the official podcast too. It's like fucking, so you have like GTA Online, right? Like fucking, so you're playing, like you're driving around this fictionalized city, shooting things, like driving fast cars, like doing missions and everything. You don't even get that on the metaverse. It's like you literally like sit around in like a comedy club. Apparently you bully the only guy trying to be fucking funny, I guess. So that is apparently the reality that people live in. It's like PlayStation Home. Like, I don't know how many of you guys played that back in the day, like on the PS3. Like, we had like the PS Home variant. It was like Horizon Worlds, except, you know, not without the VR aspect. And I just don't even see any differences from that. Like, it makes no sense to me, like, why they expected this to be crazy.
It's just so behind is the problem. Like, I feel like the idea maybe in the future works, but right now they are too behind to make anything meaningful, to make anyone want it. Like, VR chat pops off. They could have just bought VR chat and built upon that, and it would have been much smarter.
Way better.
VR chat's like a lot of the fun with VR chat is like how modular it is, like how much you. Because I remember for a while, like when COVID was like the big thing, and we were all like locked inside. I did like theaters, like we had like whole watch parties in like VR chat.
Yeah.
So that was the moment where I picked up the headset and I was like, oh, let me try VR chat on this. And it was genuinely fun to sit in like a virtual theater and watch like, you know, whatever anime or YouTube or like a movie with your friends. You can't.
Have you ever ERP'd?
What the fuck is that? RP?
Erotic roleplay.
Oh, erotic
Come on, you
roleplay.
dork.
Bro.
Don't you know?
No, dude. Have you?
Oh yeah. Not by choice though.
Wait,
it was like
sexually harassed?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
No way.
It was totally against my will. I did not like it at all. But so that is weird. I know a lot of people who play VR chat a lot, and the phantom touch thing you were mentioning, how like they block the personal space or whatever, that's legitimately real, as some would say, in VR chat. Like I've been to parties in VR chat, and I just dress up as the Master Chief. And then me and my friends, a couple of my friends can dance really well, and they have like full body tracking, so they'll be like dancing like crazy. And then I'll just be doing something insane or whatever, and I'll just go with people. And if you like touch people, because you want to touch them because it's like they're fake, they're not real, they will get so mad at you, Muda. It is insane. They will get
you're in their personal bubble, bro. You're touching their VR avatar.
I thought it was fake. I didn't realize it was that serious, but.
Bro, some people are living that like Matrix.
You can fall in with a group of ne'er-do-wells, VR chat ne'er-do-wells, and then go get ERP'd. But
that sounds
that
really
seems
illegal.
fun, though.
Yeah.
That sounds really illegal the way he made it sound.
We also broke the rules too. We do you know what Billy Goat Bow Hunt is?
No.
No.
No. What?
Okay. So this is a video that's very popular on the internet. It's called Billy Goat Bow Hunt. Do not Google it if you do not want to see a billy goat die. I'll put it that way. Okay, so basically, this video though, it's funny, and I can't describe why on this podcast because it'll probably get whatever. I'll just do it anyways. It's a video that is a advertisement for a broadhead, which is like an archery thing, and it's a billy goat, and he's drinking from water. He's standing on the edge of a pond. And he's just standing there, and it's like 2 minutes of suspense where nothing happens at all. You can see this goat. And then at about the 3/4 mark, you hear an arrow just start flying, and it just goes, like the billy goat's facing away. He's a male goat. He's got a massive set of balls on him. That's why this video went viral and is a meme, is because his nutsack is like a fucking pillow. Essentially, it looks absurd.
Yeah, it's got like testicular cancer or some shit. Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's got elephantitis of the nut for sure. Mm-hmm. This dude is like 40% sack, and he's facing away, so his sack is what you see. And this arrow just goes right into his sack. It's so fucked up. And we thought it'd be funny to play it on a TV in a VR chat world, and you're not allowed to do that at all. And we got in a lot of trouble, and people thought we were terrible because we played a video of a billy goat getting shot in the nutsack in VR chat. But yeah, you guys should both look it up, but I wouldn't recommend anyone who's young to watch a video of a billy goat. It's called Billy Goat Bow Hunt.
You literally are playing like shock pornography on like VR chat, and you expect that to be banned.
Yeah, but it's not even age restricted. It's not even age restricted on YouTube. It's an ad, and it's just this big voluptuous sack that just gets penetrated with an arrow. It's fucking awesome. It's hilarious.
That's like fucking. You just turn the skybox into like Goatsy. So when people are in like those VR chat hotels and they like open up the curtain, it's like really spread out.
Billy Goat Bow Hunt.
Yeah. I feel like that's what like metaverses are missing. You know, it's like the real, like the only reason I would ever step into it is for that absurd shit. Like, because that's not the kind of stuff you do in the real world, right? Like, I would doubt that any of us would like put on, like, if we were in the real world and we just walked into like a fucking party, we'd like slap Goatsy on the television. Like, I wouldn't do that. I don't think I have enough balls in me to just go do that. Like, I would probably look. I mean, I'd be kicked out easily. But like, when you got that anonymity and you're in like a fucking party on the internet, it's totally different. Like, you're gonna slap on some fucking Goatsy. You're gonna do like wild shit.
Billy Goat Bow Hunt.
But if you want me to live in the metaverse like I do in the real life, why the wouldn't I just go meet my friends in reality? Like, it makes no sense to me. I guess if you live
That's
far
what I
apart,
always thought.
well, maybe it's like, yeah.
Even like at a distance though, why wouldn't you just hop in like a video call? Then if you're so desperate to like hang out with them like physically, it'd be so much simpler and so much less startup time.
Yeah.
You just hop on Discord or Zoom instead of buying like a $400 headset and setting everything up in your room to go to the metaverse to bully a guy doing comedy on the mic.
That would be fucking sick though. I feel like I'd jump into the open mic nights on those like VR chat platforms. Like that sounds kind of funny. Like just having like a comedy show or something like that you can jump into on the metaverse. That's the kind of cool stuff. But like if
That'd
you're
be
on, like,
kind of fun, yeah.
If you're on like a rooftop party and you're not socializing with everyone, like what the fuck are you actually doing? Like why are you wasting your time? But dude, Mark has wasted 700 billion on this dream. I think this is how Mark wants to interact with people in the future. This is just like his way of telling us, like, I'm going to burn nearly $1 trillion, like 3/4 of a trillion to get people into like fake ass Sword Art Online and call it a fucking day.
I just don't think he wants to socialize like at all. Like with people in the metaverse and the real world. The guy just seems to want to be completely alone and put on like thousands of pounds of sunscreen and surf a bit.
It's so wild how like I don't even know how social Mark Zuckerberg is, because every time he takes a selfie, it's so like it feels like AI art, you know, like when he's like doing one with like there was like this barbecue selfie he took. And I was just like, this looks like a fucking AI art prompt.
Sweet baby Ray's. Sweet baby Ray's.
Yeah, it doesn't
Sweet
even
baby
seem
Ray's.
like, dude,
Smoking meats.
It doesn't even seem
Smoking
like a
meat,
real
Sweet
photo.
baby Ray's.
So I'm like,
Yeah, he's an alienoid. Have you guys heard the conspiracy of there was a DARPA project that ended the day that Facebook was
LifeLog.
LifeLog, yeah.
Yeah,
It ended like the day that, and it like the description of LifeLog, the intention of LifeLog was the exact thing that Facebook became.
I don't doubt that like a lot of the social media companies, like obviously they backdoor to the government. Like if I'm going to go full conspiracy right now, I don't doubt that this is like just some way to like track every single aspect of like one person.
You conspiracist. You dirty conspiracist.
I'm always down
bastard.
for the conspiracy theories. I am. Like I
Me
love
too.
shit like flat Earth.
I love that shit.
Yes.
Oh my
Flat
god,
Earth.
I would.
Entertaining.
No one would be more happy if some of these conspiracy theories were correct than me. I'd be so fucking elated just to learn like the Earth really is flat. I'd be like, holy
Flat,
shit.
bro. Did you hear
Yeah.
it? Did you hear about that? It's crazy.
That'd be wild.
If the Earth was flat, that would be like the happiest video I'd ever make for that year.
Oh,
I'd be like,
yeah.
Guys, I was wrong. Guess what? It's not a globe. NASA was lying. Like, fuck.
That'd be so cool. Or like reptilians especially would be amazing.
If Mark really was a lizard,
yeah.
that'd be dope.
I mean, that's like a whole new species that like just fucking got uncovered. But like, you know, the Agartha thing, like fucking the hollow Earth theory, where like there's a whole city.
Yeah.
Dude, if that was real, I wish it was, because you know what I'd be doing the next? I'd be like, I want to get down there. I want to see the futuristic city at the core of the Earth. That's like Gears of War
You'd
shit.
go down there?
I would. That's literally the Gears of War story. Like one day they get so fucking like down because they had a whole city in the core, and they just decided one day, we'll just get to like the actual mainland and like take over because our world is fucked up.
Mole people. Would you visit the center of the Earth, Charlie?
I would, but not to stay. I feel like being in the center of the Earth would be so chaotic.
Yeah.
Like that's such like a weird spot to live. I'd rather be the surface dweller, but I'd love to meet them.
Mm-hmm. I'd meet them. I'd shake their hands.
Absolutely.
What if there's a center of the Earth, but they don't know that there's actual life on the surface of the Earth?
Oh, so it's so deep in the Earth. They have their own flights and everything in their own like hemispheres down there.
Yeah, like could you imagine like there's like in New York, subterranean New York, right? Like it's super advanced. Like they're people, they're living their life, and like they're having a podcast right now in the center of the Earth. It's like, hey guys, do you actually think there's people that live outside in like the fucking surface, like surrounded by radiation and space? Are you fucking insane? Like get out of here! Miss me with that.
Moldahar.
Yeah,
the alternate version of you would be Moldahar.
Yeah, we're like Gears mole people. Like we're literally the fucking like the Gears of War like fucking characters, all like hideous looking and shit, and we're just like laughing at because you got to think about it. Maybe like they're technologically advanced, but there's like a special barrier of crust that nobody is able to penetrate yet, right? Because it's so deep. So they're just sitting there believing, shit, there's like nothing going on at the fucking surface. They don't even know that space is a thing. They're just like, this is the only conception of the world we have. That's what I kind of think about the Hollow Earth. I don't think it's like super intelligent where they're like immediately coming out to the. I don't believe that they would easily be like accessing like actual Earth, because we would have found some gate, like we would have found something at some point. It's got to be separate if true.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any logic to Hollow Earth at all. I don't think I would have ever made the mistake of calling it intelligent, but I just love the idea of it. It's kind of like in King Kong, the new King Kong movie. They go into like the middle of the Earth, and it's like Jurassic era and shit.
Dude, yeah, that's awesome. See, if there was dinosaurs in there, that'd be another level. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go in. I'd be too scared.
Well, it's one of the things with like space stuff too, right? Like, so there's like the whole like Fermi's paradox where it's like, are we the only people left in the universe, right? Like the whole universe like die out because they have like some galactic war or some shit. But then like, so part of me like kind of thinks, I'm like, maybe we're like maybe there is like a space United Nations, maybe they are like actually like space like races, and they all just like kind of laugh at us for being so fucking primitive, like look at these guys like barely launching like rockets to the moon, fucking absolute dumbasses, and like we're just like the laughing stock of like the evolutionary pile right now. That's one of the theories that I always think. Like I'm super down for conspiracies that are that outlandish, like flat Earth shit. Like when you get to like when you get to like the anti-vaxxer shit, you know what I mean? Like we used to make fun of them.
That's
all the
not
time.
fun
It's
anymore.
not funny, dude. Yeah, it's just not funny.
Well,
just get sad.
We used to make fun of him because it was really, really outlandish, Like I remember the memes. It's like fucking speed run life, non like anti-vaxxer kid, right? Like fucking 5 minutes. But now it's like legitimate. Like people are like super consuming it, and it's just like getting into that whole like discussion is just hell in of itself. But at least the flat Earth shit is like still funny because everyone knows. Everyone has to know. That is goofy as fuck.
It's hilarious. And you can literally just, if someone believes it, you can just point at them and then just belly laugh, and it's not like a bad thing, And they'll expect it too. They'll see it coming.
Well, like
they're used to it.
It's funny because I joined some of those Discords, and like, dude, they are so committed to it. Like, there's people who are like I've had people like tell me it's like, all of NASA's footage is like CGI. So then I counter it like this. I'm like, hold on. The US and Russia hate each other, right? Like on a fundamental level, we don't get along with them, and vice versa. You're telling me out of all of that hate, we suddenly were like, hey, hold on a second, about that space shit, you need to make sure you keep lying about the globe. If these people figure out it's flat, we're all screwed. I'm like, how do we all fundamentally agree to like fucking lie about the Earth's shape?
Yeah.
But we can't agree on other shit.
It ties into the other conspiracies of the lizard people. And they're the ones who control it all. Because, there's just because the humans hate each other, the Russian humans and the American humans hate each other, the lizard people are one and the same. There's layers to it.
Oh my God, you're right. Because all the world leaders are like, shit. Dude, that was like a golden era of YouTube conspiracy content, man. Like, I will always say this. I'm like, 2014, 2015 YouTube was like peak for this kind of shit. Now YouTube
Shane Dawson.
down. Not even Shane Dawson.
I forgot he used to do that, actually. It's been so long. I actually forgot he used to do conspiracy shit.
He's back now.
Yeah, but he's just kind of like self-pity content. Last I saw, he's like, and here's what I've been doing, and I'm still sad.
Did you see what Jeffree Star's been up to? The guy like completely cut off everything and like went off into like just straight. He's like raising yaks now for like yak meat and shit. He's got like a farm out in like Wyoming or something. That dude's living his best life.
Lit.
Yeah, no, he's living his best life.
That's kind of wild.
100%. Shane Dawson, I just saw him come back. He's like the canceled world or something. I didn't watch it. But his conspiracy.
Yeah, the canceled world of Jeffree Star.
But like even Shane Dawson wasn't into it. I'm talking about like the fucking, when you leave YouTube on like autoplay one night and like, you're just browsing your phone or something, and then like in some Loch Ness Monster conspiracy hour-long documentary plays on YouTube, and you're like, I'll give it a shot. And it's just obviously full of bullshit. But that was like the era of YouTube where they weren't cracking down on it, like the real like Alex Jones nut job shit on the internet.
There's still a lot that exists. I actually just found a big one the other day. I haven't really dove into it, but it's called the Y Files, and it's all about like aliens and shit. So like if you just read some of these titles, they go so hard. Everything is secretly encoded in the Bible, even your birth, death, and the end of the world.
Yo! I just looked up the website.
I love this shit.
I looked up the website. Holy the Y Files, the science behind the news.
Yes.
When go ahead.
This is sick.
So like another one that goes so hard, and this thumbnail's nuts. The moon revealed it's a hollow spaceship. So who built it and why? Like that's so good. And it has 1 million views.
Dude.
It has 1 million views. This is huge.
I saw a movie called The Nostradamus Files when I was 10 or something. Mm-hmm. And I fully believed that the world would end for a long time when I was a child. And I never shared this thought, by the way. Like I was home a lot alone because I was homeschooled. My parents like would work for 12 hours a day. Mm-hmm. So I would just be able to make up reality in my head as when I was alone as a kid. And I would watch these fucked up movies and just fully believe the world was going to end and like that the sun was going to explode or, you know, I don't really remember most of the stuff, but like I spent years of my life just in fear, pure fear of shit ending. Did you guys ever see anything?
I had that same experience when I was a kid, but not because I was homeschooled or found the Nostradamus Bible or whatever. But I had a friend who was so into this shit. He was always telling me about the upcoming doomsdays. Yeah. So one of them was the Large Hadron Collider being turned on. It was going to create a black hole and suck in everyone, and we'd all die. That was like 2009 or some shit.
Well, that brought us into the Weasel timeline, though.
Oh, yeah, true. The Weasel changed our timeline. Then we had the Mayan calendar for 2012, which he fully believed in and convinced me of. And then another big doomsday was the Rapture, which has been like 9 of those now.
There's a lot of those, yeah. They always
announced every year by a random preacher, though. Like the Rapture's about to happen.
Pretty much. One of them caught steam like in a big way a few years back, so much so that a lot of people quit their jobs to go on a trip with their family because they were convinced they were about to be raptured, and then they didn't. So then they didn't have a job anymore.
And not a job, and then like all the time in the world because they fucking pissed it away. I looked up the channel that you mentioned. Yeah, this is like I feel like this is just a comical channel. Hold on, let me just share it.
No, it's great. It's not even comical though. Like the guy who's ahead of the star of it, I believe, is a scientist or something, or he calls himself a scientist.
He used to be a scientist.
Well look. The Y files. Hold on. The moon revealed. It's a hollow spaceship. Dude, no, but look at some of these.
Views?
Look,
Dogman hybrid. See, yep, it's got the good shit.
Look at this alien war, dude. I covered this on like Deep Web stuff 3 years ago. I'm actually gonna make a video on this. This is sick. I want to cover this.
Is this one of the channels where it's like, this is why it's a fake voice?
Read this.
This is a real person.
Okay. The stuff they don't want you to know. Who is they? The government? The Illuminati?
Yeah, you can just post this.
What?
Makes sense.
Okay, hold on. Read this. Okay, so we got the alien war at Dulles Underground Base. Dogmen hybrids, real werewolf, the Bet's mystery sphere.
How does this do so well?
Dude, it's
because this content is huge. People are so desperate to feel like smarter or unique, so they come to these crazy fringe theories and end up just believing the wackiest stuff. Like it's nonstop.
This is awesome.
It's so good. It's so good.
Okay, just look at this real quick. Okay, hold on. I highlighted the evidence we are living in a simulation is everywhere. Okay, just look at the YouTube like pre-play thing. You've got like. Berenstein.
Yo,
I can't. This is the best. Like,
it's amazing.
Imagine like highlighting this on your TV, and right after the host, it's like Berenstein Bears. That is proof we're living in a simulation, guys. Jesus. What does the Black Knight satellite tell? The machine that saw the crucifixion. Dude, this is a meme. No, this is a meme. I'm sorry. You guys are...
It's not.
Dude, hold on, wait. We gotta skip these fucking... Dude, he's got a tinfoil hat for the fish. You're telling me it's not
that is...
Yeah, but he leans into it. It's not... So it's not like a meme. Like, I've only seen like 2. But from the 2 I've seen, he presents like... evidence on why it could potentially be true, and if it's satire, it's done like in a really convincing way. Because if you read the comments, people are like, "Finally, someone's talking and revealing the truth."
Look at this one. It's fucking. Let me just find it. I just discovered WF a few days ago and I've been binge watching these for a few hours each night for the last 3 nights. Hecklefish is awesome, and so is AJ. Am I the only one whose brain instantly jumps to what the? Okay, wait, no, this guy's like jacking off. I want to see want to hear something totally bizarre. I recently went on a hike in Ireland, way up on a mountaintop. I started the hike out in darkness, and with the first light of dawn, I came upon a series of ancient tombs.
What the fuck?
No way, dude.
Supposedly, these structures date back to before Christianity, back to the days of the pagan druids in Ireland. Anyways, it was windy as hell and drizzling rain up there. I went about my hike, came back, had breakfast with my wife, finished our vacation. A few days later, I'm home and editing some of my footage I took on the hike, and there are voices on the wind, a different language that I can't understand. There was no one on the mountain with me. In fact, I didn't see another person for the entire hike. It sounds like a woman's voice. I was using my Osmo Action camera. Okay, so fucking Boston Mike here found.
What is this even about? What is this video about? Why'd he post this?
No,
I don't know, but
he's got
it's
the
so
footage.
like unhealthy.
There's not even a
This is his
video.
forum.
I can't even watch any of the. You think he would have uploaded that,
I'll
guys?
put him on into you.
Like ancient footage founded. Dude, what? That is so insane. Look at it. I vote yes for more on the Vatican and Bible, was raised Roman Catholic, but from a young age, I didn't feel I belonged. Why? Because I was always scolded for asking too many questions. I wonder what these
It seems
questions...
surprising. I'm gonna be honest. This seemed the comments are surprisingly nuanced. I thought it was gonna be a lot more off the rails.
What? The fucking druid fucking conspiracy was?
I mean, come on, man.
The druids.
Come on, dude. You guys never heard Voices in the Wind?
I mean, like, you think if he has the footage, you would have shown it. Like, I clicked on the channel. Dude, if I had that footage, I would have posted it. Like, look, some of these conspiracy theories, like, make sense. Like, the MK Ultra CIA murders. That makes sense. All right, MK
That's
Ultra.
like that's a real thing. Like
Yeah.
that's like
proven,
MK
yeah.
Ultra's real.
Yeah, that's a very real thing. And then you've got, like, the Valiant Thor, the true story, like the UFO, the Pentagon, and the 3-year mission to save the world. You've got the back rooms, liminal spaces, and then the moon is hollow.
What is the fucking moon one? That is insane.
Yeah, the moon one. So this is a real theory that I always find interesting. There is a group of people that believe not only is the moon hollow, but it's an actual spaceship.
Like a Death
So
Star.
they-
Yeah?
Yeah. So they think it's like a real spaceship, and I don't know what the goal of it is, but it just sits there and is a spaceship.
That's a dope conspiracy theory.
It is cool. It's like straight out of Invader Zim.
I'm actually down for any of like those.
I want all this to be real.
That's an interesting channel. I feel like, well, so obviously the conspiracies they cover aren't like necessarily like dangerous. It's not like this person's promoting something like, you know, with racial undertones to it or anything. You know,
Hate.
it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
like,
Yeah.
it's harmless.
yeah, exactly.
Harmless,
It's like
harmless good fun.
nobody's going to remove you for telling the world that there's a Death Star in the moon. Like just like
They
it's
will,
whatever.
Muda. They will.
Yeah, they don't want to be
The
exposed.
government,
They don't
the
wanna be
Illuminati,
exposed.
That's true.
But they will let you post that and get ads on it.
Not only ads, but it just hits the trending algorithm for some reason.
They will
yeah, they
also
get-
let you get 1 million views per video.
Yeah, they get huge views. I don't know how long you guys have been like looking at conspiracies, but I've been in it for a minute. Do you
Yeah.
guys know about the Yell channelers?
Oh yeah, dude.
Yo, so
Fill me
good.
in on that.
They're so
I
good.
don't remember the Yell channelers. What?
There's a group of people who believe they can channel aliens, and the ones they communicate with are the Yell, and they're very talkative. It seems.
The alien
Hey, they're
channel.
great.
Oh my god, I got the Vice video right here. It can't be real, man.
No, this is a real community. They used to be kind of big on YouTube for a bit, kind of like the Y-Files, but only for channeling the Yell aliens.
Yeah, I did a video on this like a couple years ago, but I deleted it.
Why did the Yell tell you to, or something? What happened?
It just did really bad. Nobody wanted to watch me make fun of people.
Okay, all right. You know, I want to make this video. I want to fly out to the Yell compound and Yell with them.
Yeah,
It's so cool.
I want to channel aliens. Like, I want to kind of like document that process. It feels like I feels like you got to be really committed. Maybe it's real, man. Maybe they are communicating with aliens or something. Shit. I remember I was on like a podcast with Keem, and he invited this one doctor, like Dr. Stephen Greer or whatever, and he made like an app or something. Yeah, they were like communicating via like telepathy, like aliens. Like you communicate using astral projection.
Him and Keem?
Yeah, Keem invited him on because I remember the whole thing. Like
Was
Keem. Keem told me, it's like, hey,
Was he
Buddha,
communicating with Keemstar telepathically?
I don't believe so. No, that was not everything.
Oh,
I
thought that's what you were saying. I was like,
the whole story was really funny. So Keem needed like a guest for the podcast. I think it was like Mom's Basement at the time. So he hits me up about it, and I'm like, oh sure, I'm down for it. Like, it's cool. We'll talk for an hour. And then he's like 5 minutes after, he's like, you got to watch this documentary, and it's like some Amazon 3-hour documentary about like fucking Stephen Greer like communicating with like aliens telepathically and shit. And I'm kind of like, well, I've already said I've committed. Let me buy this documentary and go watch it. So I did. Fun fact, no other guest but me and Keem decided to like fucking watch this documentary. So I kind of I was the idiot involved. Anyways, he comes on and it's like his whole thing is just like, I like, he's a whole doctor, and it's really hard to like confront somebody who's like, you know, they've got their whole like degrees and like licensure and everything. And I'm like, dude, I just don't believe you can telepathically communicate using astral projection. This just sounds really fucking dumb. Like,
are you just a hater?
I think he was trying to sell an app. I really just feel like he was trying to sell a fucking app. That's all it was. I was like, dude,
it's just like a texting app.
Well, it
has nothing to do with aliens.
Well, it was funny because like Keem was defending him the whole time. Right? Keem was like, you gotta keep an open mind. And like, this is the one time
Keem
where like
hates Nux.
Well, like this is the one time where me, like FaZe Banks and like Colossal is Crazy are like sitting in the call like playing bad cop the whole time, because like Banks is like, hold on, wait a minute, I didn't watch the documentary, but this is still fucking hella dumb to like fucking talk about. And I'm like, I agree. And then like Colossal is Crazy is just like going ham on it. He had the least amount of chill. It was like the Nux versus Keem like fucking shit going on the podcast. Like, he was just not like this, like he wasn't even trying to be sly about shitting on him. It was just like hammer, hammer, hammer. But yeah, that's when it came down to like the alien communication shit to me. And, part of me, like, I really wish in my lifetime before I die, we see aliens. Like, maybe there's some like glimmer.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just something, like it doesn't even have to be
if the alien DLC comes out, what's your first move? Moody, you go first. What's your first move? Aliens come in. They go to the White House. They have a ship over just like Independence Day. All right. But instead of them blasting the White House or the Capitol building, they come out and then they start talking to us, and they're friendly. What's your first move?
Listen, I'm gonna make sure my bunker is stocked. I got my rifle ready because it's really all up into the president at that point. Okay. Like if they piss him off, we're in intergalactic war, But if we come in peace, I'd be interested, man. Like that'd be sick. That'd be fine. I'd be down for it 100%. I just hope we're a little bit more advanced and unified before that happens, Like I'm hoping for a Mass Effect scenario.
I feel like if there hasn't been war with Russia, there probably would never be war with aliens unless they start it.
I don't know, brother. I don't know.
If we can prevent that conflict, if we can have like 15 different instances of the MAD being just like denied by one single guy who doesn't want to press a button and send the world to nuclear war, I feel like we're not going to be starting shit with aliens.
I don't know, bro. You're underestimating, man. Like, you're really underestimating that. I think we'd be dumb enough to do it.
Well, what if the aliens are super weak? Like, what if they get here? Like, the only technology they have is they can travel fast, but they have no weapons. They're not strong. Like, they're built real lanky and they're short. Like, we could just bully the out of them.
Like, alien,
should we?
So, like,
do we have
what if like alien pizza delivery guys like fly in, like crash land on us, and we just like take their shit?
Oh my god,
we take their technology.
What if it was just aliens that were given the technology, so they have no idea how it works, and they're just riding on empty, and they crash land on Earth. They're just like, hey, what's up, guys? What do we do? Beat them up?
I mean, like, I feel like what's going to happen is like, listen, if it was us three, okay, my suggestion honestly would be, listen, let's make sure they're not broadcasting anything, and then we'll autopsy them. Like, clearly they don't have fucking families. Clearly they're not calling.
Well, then kill them and then just open them up.
That's what? How does that help us autopsy? We could just ask them too. Like, hey, like, what's the deal with how you guys work? We don't have to like kill them.
No. I feel like they'd be.
You guys have.
Would you tell
information
an alien
on your
everything about you? Would you tell an alien species everything?
Like, it beats the alternative of getting murdered and autopsied.
I could give them a textbook, and then they would not need to kill me.
Yeah, but you don't know if they're like telepathically communicating with like a whole fucking army. You don't know if they've like reached that stage yet.
cutting them open won't do that either. You'd cut the telepathic link. We still wouldn't learn that.
No, but like a bullet to the head. Like if you just give that one like clean shot, they're not going to be able to communicate or like send an alert signal. You know?
Oh, you're worried they'd be like a relay for others.
Yeah.
So if you hurt one, they'd all start getting alarmed like
it's like
ants.
it's like bees and shit. You know, like you piss one off, you're f***ing with
Bees
the whole
and shit,
nest. But like
the hive, the queen gets angry.
Well, first you'd have to gauge. Obviously, they're smart enough to communicate, right? Like they're probably going to start communicating in a language of their own, right? Like first you got to figure that out. It's got to be like some Prometheus shit. If you got first, I'm saying not kill them immediately on autopsy. I'm like first figure out intent. If they're
Wait
bad,
a little bit.
If they're bad, you can go for it. Like they're on your turf. End them. Like check them first. But like, you know,
stand your ground laws and all that.
Yeah,
Castle doctrine.
Yeah, you're on Earth, okay? The whole planet is castle doctrine right now, okay? Like, doesn't matter where you land.
Okay, let's change this hypothetical. You're at your house, no news of aliens, alien on your doorstep, rings your doorbell. What do?
I'd let him in. I mean, I'd let the alien in. I'd harbor it.
You'd let him in.
Well, I'd harbor
Come on
it
in, buddy.
Okay,
You'd harbor the alien.
I'm not gonna listen. Okay, fine. Obviously, if the alien crash lands on the planet and comes to my house first, all right. What is this alien? Are we talking like fucking 7 foot tall Tyrion from Mass Effect that's like obviously menacing, or like Roger from American Dad? What is this alien? Because there's a fucking range.
I'd say this. I don't know. This alien's built like a little Italian guy from like the early 1900s.
Yeah,
so short,
Joe Pesci.
stout.
I'll bring him in.
Bring him in.
Yeah, I'll bring Joe Pesci in. Yeah,
little Pesci.
Yeah, little
I'd
alien.
probably interview him first.
Yeah,
like, you can't just invite him in. You have to like ask him like, hey, like what's going on? What are you doing here? Like once I get like some kind of gauge on his personality, like and his like general attitude, then I'll decide.
What if he can't communicate other than just by looking at you and screaming?
What is it, like what is it, like mentally deficient? Like what the fuck?
He's an alien.
Okay, if it's
Why is he screaming though?
Yeah, what the fuck?
No, he just goes ah.
Okay, if I land on another planet, I'm not going to start screaming at the fucking aliens. That's just like begging to get killed. Like why?
Yeah, it's like the last thing I'd do. I'd be talking very soft.
Yeah, exactly. Like first contact, I'd have my arms in the air. I feel like this is an intergalactic symbol for surrendering. Like I come in peace. If the alien's not doing that and it's screaming at me, it's getting shot.
And it's screaming. It's like a real life singamajig. You guys know those toys, the little like butthole mouths. They go.
No.
What the fuck is that?
A singamajig.
No.
Like a real life singamajig, and he just comes. And the only thing he can do is just make that sound. Would you harbor it?
Well,
it's not a scream. It's just like a.
I'd harbor it because it's cool.
I'd make content out of it quickly, but then get authorities involved like ASAP.
Quick collab. Well, the DOD's on the way.
Bro, they would like disappear you into like a black site if you were caught making content.
Real quick collab with this singamajig.
I'm sorry if I harbor this thing, I'm also having a cyanide pill next to me because whatever agency captures me, I'm fucking dead.
Yeah.
Like
I'm ET in that.
No, I don't. They once it's out there, the genie's out of the lamp. Like I'll stream it quickly, just go live, like special guest tummy time.
Come in here, dude. Come in here.
You go onto like a spaceship and show it all off, and then it's like all of the fucking allure is gone.
Dude, that would be a really funny like social experiment to do live. Get like a really convincing alien prosthetic, and then just fucking stream with it one day, and don't even mention it beyond that. Just be like, yo, this is I found an alien.
I was thinking about that with like live stream fails. How cool would it be if somebody like filmed like a found footage movie on stream just like that? Like, could you imagine like you're streaming for an hour or something? Like you're just playing fucking like Halo Infinite, and then like an actual alien crash lands in your backyard, and you walk them in. They do look really convincing. Like they're like fucking spitting like goo all over your floor and shit, like fucking up your house. And then you have like a little like fucking spaceship in the back that you walk around inside and see things, and then it just cuts off. Like it's all over. Like you just have like fucking, that's just where it ends, and people just assume that like the fucking feds came and raided your house after a few minutes.
I feel like a video that would be really cool. This is an idea that I've had for a long time, but I feel like
we got to cut this whole section out. Hold on, we'll discuss this after. But ladies and gentlemen, actually, no, you know what? Actually, it's a perfect time to end. We started off with like talking about the bare bones Elon shit, and we really ended up fucking clamming it with the conspiracies, man. God damn.
That's such a fun topic.
Yeah.
I'm such a big fan of conspiracies.
Same.
Not like believing them. I think the only conspiracy I believe is not a conspiracy, is true, that beef jerky is a scam. Like, other than that, all the others are just, beef jerky, it's a fucking scam. Like, you pay like $8 and you get like 3 tiddlywinks of jerky in there. It's a fucking scam.
That's obviously. I thought you were like, this shit's like Soylent Green or made out of fucking human or something.
Oh,
like,
no, it's just a scam.
You can pay like $4 for an eye of round that would make hundreds of dollars worth of jerky. It's insane.
It's such a dog shit product. It's not really a conspiracy, just like the truth.
Yeah, that's what I do. It's like, but you're challenging big jerky there, and I don't know if they're gonna like kill you or something.
Big meat.
Yeah, Jack Links won't take kindly to that one.
They're gonna like you.
I mean, you're gonna ruin that sponsorship with like fucking Matador or whatever the brand is. That is true. I see bags of that shit all the time, and I'm like, who's paying like fucking $18 for like 4 shards of beef?
It's insane.
It's such a waste.
Insane. There's a rest stop called Love's in like Central America. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a Love's, but they have their own jerky that tastes fucking terrible, smells like dog food, and it's like a quarter pound of it. It's in a tube. It's $50.
Ooh.
50 fucking bucks. And I was like, that's got to be good. So I bought it, and it's shit. It's terrible.
Shit.
Yeah, I got scammed hard, and there's no way it's actually a quarter pound, and it smells like dog food. I gave it to my dogs, literally, not all of it, just a small piece.
Jesus Christ. Well, you heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. We're all against big jerky. So if we're not here filming next week, or if you go onto our good friend Charlie's channel, Moist Critical, and he's not doing a daily upload in a week from now, you can rest assured that big jerky has fucking murdered this man.
Yeah, and don't eat the jerky for like the next 3 months, because it might be made from him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, actually. But ladies and gentlemen, check out Oompaville, check out Some Ordinary Gamers, and check out Nux Taku, who's been dead the entire episode. God rest his soul. Hopefully he'll come back to life next week. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it, dislike it. We are out.